Feet 45 degrees, 5 fingers on the left hand, 2 on the right, feet up to knee, the Morse marking prayer. Allah the Father of the universe.
Allah the Father of the universe.
Father of love.
The Father of love.
Truth. Peace.
Freedom.
And justice. Allah is my protector.
Allah is my protector.
My guide. And my salvation. By night. And by day. Through his holy prophet. Through Ali. Amen. All remain standing while we recite more praise and honors. First I give praise to Allah, the great God of the universe. First I give praise to Allah, the great God of the universe.
First I give praise to Allah, the great God of the universe.
I give honor to his holy and divine prophet, Noble Drew Ali.
I give honor to his holy and divine prophet, Noble Drew Ali.
Founder of the More Science Temple of America.
Founder of the More Science Temple of America.
I give honor to all true and divine prophets.
I give honor to all true and divine prophets. Jesus. Muhammad. Buddha. Confucius. Etc.
I give honor to the forerunners of the prophet.
I give honor to the forerunners of the prophet. Brother Marcus Scott.
I give honor to all past supreme grand advisors and moderators of the More Science Temple of America.
I give honor to all past supreme grand advisors and moderators of the More Science Temple of America. Incorporated.
Brother C. Kirkman Bay.
Brother C. Kirkman Bay.
Brother F. Nelson Bay.
Brother F. Nelson Bay.
And Brother J. Blakely Bay.
And Brother J. Blakely Bay.
Honor to our past former Grand Sheikh and moderator, Brother Allah Bill.
I give honor to our past former Grand Sheikh and moderator, the More Science Temple of America, Brother Allah.
Give honor to our present Grand Sheikh, who is the moderator, Brother Al Jones Bay.
Give honor to our present Grand Sheikh, who is the moderator, Brother Al Jones Bay.
And to the Assistant Bay Officer, Brother A. Hawkins Bay.
Give his Assistant Grand Sheikh, Brother A. Hawkins Bay.
Give honor to our National Chairman of the More Science Temple of America, who is also the Grand Sheikh here at Temple 71.
Give honor to the National Chairman of the More Science Temple of America, who's also the Grand Sheikh here at Temple 71.
Brother P. Chase Hill.
Brother P. Chase Hill.
Give honor to all national, state, and local officials of the More Science Temple of America Incorporated.
I give honor to all national, state, and local officials of the More Science Temple of America Incorporated.
Give honor to our Grand Governor of Washington, D.C.
Give honor to our Grand Governor of Washington, D.C.
Brother H. Harris Bay.
Brother H. Harris Bay.
And to his assistant.
And to his assistant.
Sister D. Jones Bay.
Sister D. Jones Bay.
Give honor to all sheikhs and members of the More Science Temple of America.
Give honor to all sheikhs and members of the More Science Temple of America.
Give honor to all auxiliaries of the More Science Temple of America.
Give honor to all auxiliaries of the More
Give
Science.
honor to our media team.
Give honor to our media
Who's
team.
doing a great job of getting the information and the prophet out to the members throughout the world. Praise God. I give honor to our media team.
Give honor to our media team.
Who's doing a great job.
Doing a great job.
Getting the prophet's teachings out.
Getting the prophet's teachings out
Throughout the world.
throughout the world.
To all our members.
For all our members.
I give special honor to each and every one of you who came out tonight, came out today for this Sunday school Koran class.
I give each honor to I give honor to each and every one of you who came out today for this Quran class.
I don't say too much, Chair. A little bit at a time.
Go too fast. Just go down for y'all. I give a special honor to each and every one of you.
I give a special honor to each and every one of you
who came out today
who came out today
for this Sunday school Quran class.
for the Sunday school Quran class.
I pray that everybody gets something from this class.
I pray that everybody gets something from this class
That they can use throughout the rest of this week.
that they can use throughout the rest of the week.
Praise God.
Praise God.
Give a special honor to each and every one of you.
Give a special honor to each and every one of you. Islam.
At this time, I'll read from Salvation of Our Youth, More Science Temple of America, Divine Constitution of the Bible. Act 1. Grand Chief and Chairman of the More Science Temple of America, child to make law, and enforce law with the system and the prophets and the grand body of the More Science Temple of America. The assistant Grand Chief is to assist the Grand Chief in all affairs, if it is important to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. This nothing for the members of the More Science Temple of America. Act 2. All meetings are to be open to public, according to the circumstances of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Friday is our holy day of rest. Because on a Friday, the first man was formed in flesh, and on a Friday, the first man departed out of flesh. And the considered unto the Father our law. That calls Friday as a holy day for all Muslims all over the world. Act 3. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice must be proclaimed and practiced by all members of the Moore Science Temple of America. No members are put in danger or accused falsely as brother or sister on any occasion at all. They be harmless brother or sister because Allah is love. Act 4. All members must observe these holy divine laws. And all members must obey the laws of the government. Because by being in Morse America, you are a part and parcel of the government. You must live the life accordingly. Act 5. This organization of Morse Scientific America is not to cause any confusion or to overthrow the law and constitution of these state governments, but to obey hereby. Act 6. Workers, all members must proclaim their nationality. We are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed. That they may know that they are a part and parcel of this state government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, Ethiopians. Because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted to 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a newer time now. All men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained no majority of prophets to redeem the people. Let me start it over again. Act 6. Group of all members must proclaim their nationality. We are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed. They may know they are a part of this state government, know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, Ethiopians. Because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted to 1865 during the time of slavery. And this is a newer time now. And all men now must proclaim the free national name recognized by the government of the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained no majority of the prophet to redeem the people from the simple ways. The most Americans are descendants of the ancient Moabites, whom inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All members must promptly attend their meetings and become a part to all of this acts of the Moors of the environment. We must pay your dues, keep an eye on all necessities of the Moors and then they entitled to the name of faith. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband, take care of your children, and look out for you in your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother in justice and become empowered all the time. All most brothers keep the hearts and minds filled with love and the bodies clean with water. This divine covenant from the Holy Prophet Noah through our leaders, whose guidance of his father throughout our lives. Those who already found most American prayer. God, the Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. God is my protector, my guide, and my salvation, by night and by day, through His holy prophet, through our leader. Amen. More Scientific America, Home Office, mailing address, P.O. Box 388-7600, Hawkins Drive, Greenbelt, Maryland 20768. You just had a reading from the Divine Constitution and Bylaws in this time, and now we're going to have a reading from the questionnaire and addition law for the Morse American by the Prophet Act 1. Grand sheets and covers, heads of all temples, all ministers. He said temple must be approved by the Prophet before acting upon by any member, let it be fine properly, or any line like that will cause sacrifice, etc. That will cause support in the group of members. And the former office violate these laws is subjected to be removed from this office under heavy restrictions except by the Prophet or the Divine. Act 2. All members are attending their DAP meetings and public meetings promptly. If members found standing around in a meeting period shall be fined 50 cents on the first case, and on the second he will be fined $1, which is going to your emergency fund. If members' workers' money dues must be paid. If he has money in his bank, he must subscribe for as much as he is able to the more subsistent fund, because it takes time and self-information. Act 3. It is lawful and divine to every member if he is able to finance to aid me and save the nation. If he does not, he is the enemy to cause us. He is the enemy To the cause of uplifting his own people, and justice must catch you. We go there again. It is lawful and divine through every good member if he is able and kindness to aid me and save the nation. If he does not, he is the enemy to cause uplifting his own people, and justice must catch you. That be he or she according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. As I have power vested in my hands, and I will have to enforce the law in order to save the nation. Act 4. All members, while making a public speech, must not use any assertion against the American flag or speak radical against the church or any member of any organized group, because we are to teach love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Act 5. All members must promptly attend their meetings and send their children to Sunday school. And the teacher must confirm himself to the questionnaire, and let every member exercise the 5 senses who is able to do so. Because out from the Sunday school comes the guidance of the nation. Act 6. Wherefore, all members must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed. That they may know that they are a part and parcel of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopians. Because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779, and lasted to 1865 during the time of slavery. And this is a new world time now. All men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why our great God of the universe ordained those who are in the prophet to redeem the people from their simple ways. Most Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites who inhabit the northwestern and southwestern shores of the island. Act 7. All members must promptly attend their meetings and become a part and a parcel of all the different acts of the moral science temple. Members must pay their due keeping our necessities of the moral science temple. Then you are encouraged in the name of faith. Husbands, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband. Take care of your children, look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother, be adjusted, and become a part of the uplifting of all humanity. All mortal brothers must keep their hearts and minds filled with love and bodies free with water. This divine covenant from the Holy Prophet and Holy Law is through the guidance of the Father, God of life. We have just had a brief program. Question and additional also from mortal brother, in this entire Islam.
Islam.
This time I'll read my Holy Quran and more science to book America. Divinely prepared by the noble prophet, who are leaders, by the guidance of God, God of love, great God of the universe, redeeming man from the simple cause saved from humanity back to the highest thing of life with the Father, God of love. I'll read from page 35, chapter 25. Divine instruction from the Holy Prophet, chapter 25, the Holy Covenant of the Adamic nation. I'll read it in its entirety. Ye are the children of one Father, provided for by his care. And the breast of one mother has given you suck. That the bonds of affection therefore unite you with your brothers. The peace that happens when you dwell in the Father's house. And when you separate in the world, remember the relation that binds you to love and unity. And defer not a stranger before their own blood. If the brother is in adversity, assist him. If the sister is in trouble, forsake her not. So shall the portion of your father, till to support his whole race. His care be continued to you all, in the love to each other. Islam?
Islam.
Okay. I open up our Sunday school class at this time. Is anybody out front, downstairs? Please let them up, let them in. Islam.
Islam.
Just let's take a moment of silence. Raise our voice up a little bit. Raise out.
Islam.
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 This time I call Mr. Okay? Our branch chief moderator. Brother, I'll go and say. Islam.
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 Allah.
Father of the universe, the Father of love,
Truth, peace, freedom,
and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation. By night and by day, through his holy prophet, through Ali. Amen.
Okay, again, Islam.
Islam.
Who made you?
Allah.
Who is Allah?
Allah is the Father of the universe.
Can we see it?
No.
Where is the nearest place we can meet?
In the heart.
Who is Noble Dua?
He is Allah's prophet.
What is a prophet?
The prophet is the Lord of Allah manifest in the flesh.
What is the duty of a prophet?
To save nations from the wrath of Allah.
Who is the founder of the Moorish Science Temple of America?
Noble Ali.
What year was the Moorish Science Temple of America founded?
1913 AD.
Where?
New York, New Jersey.
Where was Noble Dua born?
In the state of North Carolina, 1886.
What is his nationality?
Moorish American.
What is your nationality?
Moorish American.
Why are we Moorish American?
Because we are descendants from Moroccans and born in America.
For what purpose was the Moorish Science Temple of America founded?
For the uplifting of all humanity.
How did the prophet begin to uplift the Moorish Americans?
By teaching them to be themselves.
What is our religion?
Islamism.
Is that a new or is that the old time religion?
Old time religion.
What kind of a flag is the Moorish?
Is the red flag with the 5 pointed green spot in the center.
What do the 5 symbols represent?
Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice.
How old is our flag?
It is over 2,000 years old.
Which is our holy day?
Friday.
Why?
Because Friday is the day on which man was formed in flesh, and was on Friday and we are our flesh.
Who was Jesus?
He was a prophet of Allah.
Where was he born?
In Bethlehem, Judah, and house of David.
Who were his father and mother?
Joseph and Mary.
Will you give in brief the line genealogy through which Jesus came?
Some of the great fathers to which Jesus came are Abraham, Boaz, Ruth, Jesse, King David, Solomon, Hezekiah, Joseph, and Mary.
Why did Allah send Jesus to this earth?
To save the Israelites from the iron and oppression of Palestinian ancient Europe, who will govern the portions of Palestine at that time.
How long had that been?
Almost 2,000 years ago.
What was the nationality of Ruth?
Ruth was a Moabite.
What is the modern name for Moabite?
Moroccan.
Where is the Moroccan Empire?
Northwestern Mexico.
What is the modern name for Messi?
Africa.
What is the title given to our ruler in Morocco?
Sultan.
Where do we get the name Jesus?
From the east.
What does the name Jesus mean?
Jesus means
Did
justice.
the angel give to the child that was called Jesus a holy name?
Yes, but it cannot be used by those who are slaves to sin.
What is an angel?
And angels are all about manifesting in the universe.
What are angels used for?
Carry messages for homes of the world to all nations.
What is our prophet to us?
He is an angel allowed to send to bring us evidence of God's love.
What is the everlasting God?
It is a saving power that comes from love for an angel fathers by his power.
What is the covenant of the great God Allah?
Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon earth, and to the Lord thy God Allah.
Give it to me again. What is the covenant of the great God Allah?
Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon earth, and to the Lord thy God Allah has given thee.
At what age did Jesus begin to teach?
At the age of 12,
Where did he teach?
India, Africa, Europe,
How long did he teach?
18 years.
What did Jesus say that would make you free?
Truth.
What is truth?
Truth is all.
What is all?
All is Allah.
Can truth change?
Truth cannot change or pass away.
What other name do we give to truth?
holy bread.
What have you to say about holy bread?
All we can say is great, is good, was, is, and ever will be.
Get that to me again. What have you to say about holy bread?
All we can say is great, is good, it was, it is, and ever will be. Amen.
Give it to me again. What have you to say about holy bread?
All we can say is great, is good, it was, it is, and ever will be. Amen.
At what place on earth was the physical body of man formed?
In the Garden of Eden,
Where's the Garden of Eden?
in the land of Canaan, and the city of Mecca.
What is the modern name for the Garden of Eden?
Mecca.
What is the name of the first physical man?
His name cannot be used only by the executive rules of
What are the words of ACF and Ms. TFA?
the death chamber of the more sons temple on earth.
Who were Adam and Eve?
They are the mothers and fathers of the human family, Ajax and Moses.
Where did they go?
They went into Asia.
What is the modern name given to their children?
Ajax.
Who is guarding the holy city of Mecca today to keep the unbelievers away?
Angels.
What is the modern name for those angels?
Ajax.
What is the shade of their skin?
Olive.
Are the Moorish Americans in relation to those angels?
Yes, we all have the same father and mother.
If our names were given to the descendants of Adam and Eve,
Lucifer said together with Adam and Eve.
what is the devil sometimes called?
The Lord self.
How many cells are there?
2.
Name them.
Higher self and lower self.
What people represent the higher self?
The angels who protect the whole city.
What people represent the lower self?
Those who cast out the whole city and those who accept the teaching.
What is the higher self?
The higher self is the mother of virtues and Muhammad's life. Greece, justice, mercy, love, and right.
Can the higher self pass away?
No.
Why?
Because it's all name.
What does the lower self breathe?
Hatred, slander, lewdness, murder, theft, and everything that harms.
What did the higher self say to the lower self at one time when he met it?
Where are you going, Satan?
What was the answer that the lower self gave to the higher self?
I am going to look for her, seeking my God.
As he finished his task of devouring,
Yes.
when was this time declared out?
When they nailed Jesus on the cross.
What are the last words Jesus uttered?
It is finished.
What did he have reference to?
He had reference to the end of Satan.
Did Jesus say that he would return to conquer him?
Yes.
What is the name of the person into whom Jesus was first reincarnated?
Prophet Muhammad the Conqueror.
Was Satan to be bound in?
Satan was the ground of God.
When was the head of Satan taken off?
1453 Byzantine.
By whom?
By Muhammad.
Name some of the marks that were put upon the Moors of the Northwest by the European nations in 1774.
Negro, black, colored, and Ethiopian.
Negro.
The name given to a different West Africa.
What is meant by the word black?
Black, according to science, means death.
What does the word colored mean?
Color means anything that is painted, stained, varnished.
What does the name colored mean?
Color means anything that's been painted, stained, varnished.
No, I'm sorry. Listen, gotta do it again. 'Cause maybe it might be me. So, what does the word colored mean?
Color means anything that's been painted, stained, varnished, or dyed.
Anything that what?
Been painted, stained.
No, anything that has.
has.
That's what I was missing. It's gotta be, this has to be just like it's in here. Every word means something. It's very important that we focus on not leaving words out. But focus on saying it just the way it is in here. Why do you think we need to do that?
Say every word I speak is spirit.
That's what he said. That's a good response. Why else do you think he said that? Why do you think I'm saying that you need to know every word that's in this questionnaire, word for word?
So you don't leave nothing out.
You want to share what the prophet, you want to share what the prophet said.
That's no question. You're right about that. Come on, why else?
So you don't leave anything out or add anything to it.
That's right. But why else?
Because it's true.
What are we experiencing when we say this together? What are we experiencing?
Vibrations.
What is it? No, rhythm.
Rhythm.
It's a rhythm in the word. And these words are so designed by Prophet Noble Raleigh that there is a rhythm which helps to stimulate a certain thought pattern that we need to adopt if we're going to discuss high effectiveness.
That's right.
We got to be in rhythm.
That's it.
Because in there, if we are in rhythm, we're in what? Harmony. Come on.
So if a word is missing or left out, it's
go along with the truth.
Well, what it has done is disturbed the rhythm of the truth.
Right.
See, truth in here is rhythm to the truth in here. If you say, who made you, and you say Allah, or you say, no, you say, give me one. Why did Allah send Jesus to this earth? To save the Israelites. Now say you leave something out of that. There is a disconnect. There is the rhythm is not
Exactly.
in place
Yeah.
to make the complete thought. Reveal itself.
Mm-hmm.
These words, these and thes and ends and all that, that's not in here by accident.
No.
Allah and Allah's prophet knew exactly what he was doing.
Exactly.
Come on here.
Islam, Brother Brian Sheikh, Islam, Moss. To your point, Brother Brian Sheikh, one of the things the prophet is teaching us is how to imitate him.
Yes.
So you imitate him by what he says and
Yes.
does.
Yes.
You don't deviate.
Yes.
You preserve the law by stating it as it is.
Yes. That's right.
You can't preserve the law by adding stuff in it.
That's right. That's
Preservation is to keep a thing just as it was brought to you.
right. That's right.
That's how we preserve it.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
And also heal this. You know, this becomes a habit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now suppose we leave out something and we don't correct it. That too will become a habit.
Exactly.
And we'll be missing something.
You gain strength.
Of course it will. And next thing you know, we'll start missing things in other areas.
Exactly.
Equilibrium that we came
Huh?
on. I say equilibrium is all.
Yes, all. Well, you can feel something in your mind. You know?
It's not the grand chief that we consider the herb.
Yes, that is it.
Yeah.
Yes, and all. Yes. 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 Oh, Sister Amy gave back.
I was gonna say that could be the reason, one of the reasons why he said in 40 years you won't know what I've
That's a
brought.
good
That's a
point.
good one.
That's a good point. That's an excellent point.
Yeah, because we'll be changing everything.
That's an excellent point. That's right. Where did I start? Thank you. Yeah,
You said 40 years?
50. Oh, 50. Yeah. Did she say 40?
Yeah.
Okay. 50. All right. Praise the Lord. What does the word, but that's still an excellent point. This is what.
Yes.
Because we're trying to stay in the rhythm.
Yeah, damn.
Tell the truth.
That's right. That's right. What does the word color mean?
Color means
Everything
anything
that
that
has been painted, stained, varnished, or dyed.
What does Ethiopia mean?
Ethiopia means something divided.
Can a man be a Negro, black, colored, or Ethiopian?
No,
Why?
because
man is made in the image and after the likeness of God alone.
What title does Satan give himself?
God,
Will you define the word white?
white means spiritual, purity means God, God means the ruler of the land.
So who do we refer to at times as being the great God? Is the devil made in the image and likeness of Allah?
No, he is a shadow of our Lord's self in the aspect.
Who made the devil?
Elohim.
Who is Elohim?
Elohim is separated, spiritual, created everything that was, is, and ever was to be.
What is Elohim sometimes called?
The 7 eyes of God.
How many days are in the circle?
7 days.
How many days are in the creation?
7 days.
According to science, how many days are in the year?
7 days.
Praise the Lord. Let's go back where it says, why did Allah send Jesus to this earth? It says, why did Allah send Jesus to this earth?
to save the Israelites from the iron hand of the destination of Europe, who governed the portion of Palestine at that time.
And that's the point. That's what I want to bring out. To save the Israelites. Now, of course, we've talked about this before, but maybe we need a refresher. Who are the Israelites?
Yes.
Okay. He said that they're us. Prove it in the Koran. If the Israelites are us, we should be able to support what we're saying.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the Koran. Go to the Koran and find out where you can support the Israelites being us.
Well, when you got to look at where it is,
Yes.
I think we need to identify where those Israelites are from. You ain't
Go to the Koran and find out in the Koran where you can say the Israelites are us. You're going to be asked questions when you make statements. And if you're to represent the movement correctly, you must be aware of what you're saying out of your mouth. And this is for everybody, for me too.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to be able to support what you say when you say what you say when it comes to Memorial Science Temple of America, because you got a lot of people out there saying a lot of stuff. You got to show that you're different, that you know what you're talking about. You got another minute.
He has a hand up, Brother Blancy.
Okay, come on.
Well, I would prefer page 3 of No Doubt 75 It says, by the prophet Noble Ali, and just the acts of modern northwest, southwest of Africa. These Moabites and who were driven out of the land of Canaan by Joshua and refused to receive permission from Pharaoh of Egypt to settle in the portion of Egypt in the later years, formed themselves kingdom. I think
That's a good try, man. I commend you for that. That's a good try.
I'm trying to connect.
Yeah, you know, you're in the right direction. You're in the right direction. But there's something in here, in the Koran, that tells you about the Israelites by way of Jesus. Come on, Brother Captain Spain.
No, I would be for the beginning of Christianity.
Okay, good. That's right. Come on, Captain
Because
Spain.
Jesus himself was of the true blood of the ancient Canaanites and Moabites and the inhabitants of Africa.
There's no question about that, Brother Captain Spain. There's no question about that. And remember, we are saying that Jesus came to save who?
The Israelites.
Now, how do you know that what you just stated, Brother Captain Spain, that how do you know, or how can you support that we are the Israelites? And I just gave you an answer.
Because they're the ancient Canaanites and Moabites
Okay.
are from the inhabitants of Africa.
Okay, but it's something in that chapter, Brother Captain Spain, that specifically states something.
Mm-hmm.
And you're right in front of it. It's right there. Remember, Jesus came to save who?
The Israelites.
And if he came to save the Israelites from the iron hand oppression of the pale-skinned nations of Europe, what else does it say in chapter 46?
Mm-hmm.
Look,
Instruction 1.
say, what was it?
I was gonna say instruction 1.
1,
Mm-hmm.
read 1.
The foundation of Christianity began in Rome. The Roman nations founded the first church, of whom crucified Jesus of Nazareth was seeking to redeem his people from under the Roman yoke and law.
Okay, what is the important word that we're talking about?
Redeem
No, his. Seeking to redeem his people. So if he's seeking to redeem his people, we know that his people must be who? The Israelites. Now we can support who we are because it says Jesus himself was of the true blood of the ancient Canaanites and Moabites and the inhabitants of Africa, seeking to redeem his people. Again, who is it again? Who is his people?
Israel.
And who are the Israelites? His people, but according to this, you're correct, but it also says Moabites and the inhabitants of Africa and Canaanites. They're his people. That's who he came to redeem. They're not the only people, because the Israelites are made up of different tribes. But we can say, or we can support the fact that we are of the same lineage of Jesus, and Jesus was recognized as one of the coming from one of the tribes of the Israelites. Yeah.
You know, I think that's important. This in particular, I had a conversation with a brother that said that, well, there was actually the other Hebrew Israelites, some of those brothers.
Right.
And they said that the Canaanites and the Israelites are not the same.
Right.
And so that's what they're believing. So
Right.
it's good that the prophet brought this to straighten that out.
Right.
And I guess that, you know, a lot of them don't have access to that information right now.
Right. Right. Well, we had access to it, but we didn't recognize it.
Exactly.
In that way.
Yeah, in that way, exactly.
Because the interpretation's time, interpretation of man kind of deviates.
Yes, it does. It alters it. It interjects that. You know, things that are used to cause us to deviate from what is truth, because it's easy to deviate when you don't know what the truth is.
True.
So what we're trying to establish the fact is that Jesus came to redeem us. We were under pressure. But truth don't change or pass away. We're under pressure today. And Jesus returned to do what? Redeem us and to relieve us from that pressure. What is the pressure that we're under?
Oh, they had a pressure to investigate.
But what is it? I mean, how is it being
Mental slavery.
Huh?
Mental slavery.
Yes, mental slavery, no question. But how else is it? How else are we under that pressure? How is our people under that pressure? It is a Negro problem, no question about that. It's no question about that. Yeah.
We have a misinformation of the relationship.
Okay.
You know, because we got these foreign people
Okay.
that's coming here,
Our way of thinking.
and you feel that you're not related to them. And you are.
Okay, Sister Amy Bay.
Was the pressure the Roman law?
It is the pressure that comes from the Roman law, but that law is being inflicted on us because of our what?
I thought,
Because of our what?
thanks.
Disobedience.
Disobedience and now
Disobedience.
Okay, all right, that's good. But how about this? Because we don't know who we are.
Yeah.
Remember, I've been telling you for the last few weeks, we're classed as what? Undesirable. That in itself brings about pressure. Can you understand? We've been mistreated in a manner that we're mistreated because we don't know who we are, and we're under a classification that says we're undesirable. That means they're not even accepting us in the human family. We're outcasts. We have been outcasts, clinging to names and principles that allude to slavery. Yeah.
Yeah, you said we are outcasts. But who putting us in outcasts if we not putting us? Yeah. I mean, yeah. You say we are. We're talking. You talking about what they're doing to us. But what's lost with us?
I hear you. Look.
We doing it.
So
to
anyway,
ourselves.
go ahead. What you gonna say more?
As a people, which you was really saying, as a people,
Yes.
we are lost. Our identity, we still cling to Negro, blacks, and colors, right? So as a people, we are lost because we don't know who we are. We're spirit and a part of Allah. We're children of God, but we don't act it. We're acting Negro, black, and color, so we're lost. As a people, we
They're
are
lost. They're we found.
Praise Allah.
Come on.
We're paying pressure to man-made laws and rules and regulations,
Right.
like Congress,
Right.
the judiciary system,
Right.
the Senate, and the House, and all.
Right.
I think the pressure is, that's the way they get away with the pressure,
Right.
in that form,
Right.
government.
Right. Remember, but the pressure comes from not knowing who you are. You have no rights. You have no rights. You're being led to believe that you have rights when you don't. You're being made to think that you are a citizen when you're not. So when you see other nations come to this country and you see them benefit and you get upset because you're not, well, they know who they are.
They're not really accepted.
They know who they are. They're supported by what?
The law.
Free
By the law, and the law is acknowledging their what?
Nationality.
Their nationality. And their nationality is represented by their what? Their flag. Every nation in the United States of America has a flag of their descent. Where did you come from?
Like the Ukrainians.
They came from Ukraine.
Right, and they come over here, they Greek benefits and assistance.
As citizens of America, they have two flags. The nations that's been accepted in the United States of America, they have two flags. The flag of America, the American flag, and their national descent flag.
There's no reason why all those flags around.
Of course it is, to acknowledge the countries that are recognized by the United States of America.
United Nations.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, but it's also New York. Yeah, come on.
So these guys are being perpetrated
Yes,
by people in this country
yes,
that want to keep us
in slavery.
enslaved
Yes,
and function under grand person.
yes, Mom. Yes.
If these people are not practicing, that's right. And our people, the world is
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. Question is, one would ask himself, why would they want to keep us in mental slavery? What is it about us that causes them or that prompts them to feel a need to put us in a mental state to keep us in a certain way of thinking that keeps us subdued to someone else's ideology? Come on.
When you know who you are,
Right,
you carry yourself different.
right,
You
Right.
know
right,
who you are
right,
as well as what the law allows as well with
Right.
you.
right,
And you can identify
right,
where you came
right,
from, right? And the people that you belong to, your country, your flag,
right,
to represent yourself as who you actually are,
right,
as far as nationality
Right.
and descent.
right. But remember, it's something more important than that. Why do you think they don't want you to know who you are? Nationality is just a part of it. But why do you think, let's go to another realm of thought. Why do you think they don't want you to know who you are?
This man ain't right, because if you, like Trump said, you smell going box cars going back and
I
forth.
said, let's go to another realm.
Well, okay.
But let's go to another realm, meaning that we're going to take it from here to the next realm, so we can really see what we're talking about.
You cut you off from God.
That's my point. That's my point. You don't know who your God is. Do you know the disadvantage of not knowing who God is? Don't you know that we need a pattern for our life? Our pattern is God.
Mhm.
And if we don't have a pattern, we're going to substitute a pattern. Or we're going to substitute God, giving him an opportunity to sometimes call himself God.
Your mind is up.
It's not only just us.
Okay, yeah, I got you. Yeah, you right.
Oh,
It's not only just us.
Keep going.
Come on.
I was thinking like you out in society. I ain't gonna say the world, but in society. And you have people come to the United States
Yes.
from other places.
Yes,
Like you asked the question earlier, where are you from?
yes,
They ask you that, where are you
yes,
from?
yes.
If we don't know, we would say Northwest, Southeast.
Right,
That's not what they're asking.
right.
Okay, so I'm gonna read chapter 48. Instruction number 6. We as a clean and pure nation, descendants of the inhabitants of Africa, do not desire to amalgamate or marry into the families of the parents of the nation of Europe, neither serve the gods of their religion. Because our forefathers are the true and divine founders of the first religious creed for the redemption and salvation of mankind on earth. Therefore, we are returning the church and Christianity back to the European nations as it was prepared by their forefathers for their earthly salvation.
Yes.
While we, the Moorish Americans, are returning to Islam, which was founded by our forefathers for our earthly and divine salvation.
Right.
The prophet came teaching us
Right.
about nationality
Right.
and our divine creed,
Right.
connecting us back to the high power.
Right. Right.
So they want to keep us disconnected
Right.
and discombobulated
Right.
and out of rhythm
Right.
and all that.
Right. Right.
Brother Brad, why wouldn't we get it through the church then? Because that's most of us is still in church, why we couldn't get it through that?
Because at that particular time, that's not the avenue, or that's not where it was being made available to us. And the truth of what it is.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
The truth was not made available to us. See, if you think about it, unfortunately, that promotes their ideology. It just told you. The prophet is very scientific in how he makes statements.
Right.
He talks about Christianity and where it came from. Then he goes in the next in the chapter in another chapter he talks about was for their earthly salvation. While we are doing what? Returning to what? For our earthly and divine salvation. See, remember when he talks about European psychology? Well, to keep slaves in slavery, you must have a psychology. And you must be able to implement a psychology and have the people to accept it.
Which was already set up. It was already set up.
So you see?
We come into it.
So what we're trying to do now is, do what? What are we trying to do?
Return.
Return back to the state of mind of our forefathers.
I'm gonna read something else. I was looking here where it states the word desire.
Yes, yes.
Do not desire
Yeah.
to amalgamate or marry.
Right.
Because during the time of slavery,
Right.
we only knew what we seen.
Right.
And we seen the Europeans with the nice houses and,
Right.
and all of this. And then it comes up to the civil rights movement where they got the clean water fountain, and we got the hole in the wall and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So we desired
Right.
their
Way of life.
Their way of life.
Yeah.
We wanted what they had,
Right.
disregarding our own.
Right.
You know, so
Right.
that's why the prophet said we do not desire
Right. Right.
their way of life.
Right. But remember, their way of life was the only life that we had been exposed to.
Exactly.
Our way of life was not. Who wants to be in a way of life that can get you home?
Right.
That's why we return.
That's why, but that's not our way of life. That is a result of accepting someone else's way of life, and when you don't meet certain standards, then you have to suffer the consequences. And they're not going to let you accept it. They're not going to let you into their way of life, only to purchase things. Yeah.
Don't they know the truth? I mean, they kind of like flipped it because our ancestors were the true torchbearers of civilization.
Right.
So we was living a life, I want to say, before them conducive to a rich life, a nice, healthy lifestyle.
Remember, our forefathers were, but we turned away from it.
That's what it is.
We turned and we strayed.
Exactly.
Come on.
Yes, son. And see, everything we're drawing off of is what the prophet said. Through sin and disobedience, we suffer slavery. And we got to be careful when we put everybody in one way of thinking. All of our people didn't think a certain way. A lot of our people understood they could not say certain things at certain times. They had to use the science that was given to us because they trying to preserve their lives. Many of us knew the truth. Many of our people knew the truth. They knew what was taking place when we got in slavery was out of order. But then we got to remember when we put people in slavery and how we did. So it's a lot that goes with that. But I was thinking when you were reading we were reciting the questionnaire.
Right.
See, the psychological thought didn't start from 1779.
Right.
It started in 1774. The marks were put on us. Even before people were put in slavery, they put their marks on us in 1774. Yeah. And we started to accept those marks.
Yeah.
That's the first stage of getting us to stray after their way of thinking. That's one of them. So there's a number of different things that took place that we wound up being where we were at in this country.
Right. Your face, what you doing there in Spain too? Start thinking the way you think, the pressure in religion or whatever.
Eventually, that's what happened.
Yeah.
Eventually, that's what happened. We started accepting the European way of life when we were in Spain.
Yeah.
And eventually, that caused our demise, our downfall.
Yeah. In Ireland.
Yeah, where we lost. Yeah.
Yeah, we lost.
Ireland, the British Isles, all
yeah.
that.
Because we strayed.
It was a time when they was when they was in caves, right?
Let's just say that they were undeveloped. Undeveloped.
Right.
They were undeveloped. And that's putting it right.
Mm-hmm.
But as you know, what also happened when we lost our way, a lot of our inventions
Was stolen.
taken by
They
them
were stolen.
and made it to appear
That
that they
did it.
We sit back and we marvel. They must be some very highly developed people.
Mm-hmm.
Only to find out as we start to learn about ourselves, wait a minute, we did that. You know, remember it was how we had street lights while they were still
In the dark.
in the darkness. We had public bathrooms. I mean, we were highly civilized.
Exactly.
Right.
Paved streets.
Yes, paved streets.
Right.
I mean, we think about all that and how we gave up that because we accepted their teaching.
Yes.
And how they flipped it, and how they flipped
Of course, it's easy to flip. Look, they take Africa apart, just apart, South Africa, and they rename it Johannesburg.
Mm-hmm.
You know, from a European. Or, here's a better one. They called South Africa Rhodesia. Rhodesia came from Samuel Rhodes, who was a real racist. So when you give up your birthrights and someone comes and takes takes advantage of you, because once you give up your birthrights, you don't have no idea what's going on with you. You've surrendered your birthright.
Also, when you said island, I was saying island, I'm thinking about it. Because all this time I was celebrating back then when I was younger, St. Patrick's Day, but then found out that was the Moors color, the Moors flag color. It was the St. Patrick's Day taking his land back from the Moors. You know the St. Patrick's Day color, the green, and you got the red.
You know, it's a shame that they would say that we do that and get away with it.
Well, they have. That's why we're being awakened now, because they didn't get away with it.
Yeah,
Think not bold men because the punishment is delayed.
right.
That the arm of Allah is weak. We're being awakened.
That's it, Mo. If
They've had their reign, they've had their time, but their time, this is a new era of time.
and the shame, part of the shame was on us.
It's right.
He said we're ashamed to be ignorant.
Right.
We allowed ourselves to stay in ignorance when we started accepting their teaching.
That's right. Yeah.
And before the grand sister just speaking,
Yeah.
we spoke earlier about acceptance. We
Yeah.
accepted their teaching, their way of life.
Yeah.
Their prophet come
Yeah.
to wake us up.
Yeah.
But now we have a problem because we accepted their teaching. We have a problem accepting our own. You know, I mean, we trying, but you know, sometimes it's easier to cling to what we already accepted. You know, that way of life and that thought and you know.
Right.
So now the prophet's trying to wake us up.
Right.
You know, it's just a matter of us accepting it as the truth and taking it and grow from there.
Right. Well, remember, the problem is being solved only as it can.
That's it.
And that's through the Moorish National Divine Movement.
Yeah.
It offers us an opportunity to do what? What does it offer you an opportunity to do? To grow and fold, but it also gives you an opportunity to do what? Learn the truth about yourself.
That's it. That's it. And too, babe, and then what you saying that's the point. And learn the truth about ourselves, we learn that we got two selves. And to your point of what they may offer us, all they doing is appealing to a part of us that wants some carnal things. Even in the face of learning about, and even as in here in the Moorish Zion Temple of America, and don't think you beyond any of these desires and carnal appetites and everything that's going on in the world. We're not yet. We're working on it. And Blanche just said it. And we're solving it by coming into the Moorish Zion Temple of America, accepting the prophet's teaching and living it. See, we got to practice this on a daily basis to overcome that carnal desire that we have. And we're not at the point yet that we're strong enough.
That's right.
This is where we build up strength. And you got to be able to hold it. You got to hold this. All of us know we go home, we be wrestling with ourselves with different things. And what is that that you often talk about? When they putting out those subliminal thoughts and we having all those other things flash before our face, trying to appeal to that carnal side of us.
Yeah. Which is easy to do because that's what we're familiar with.
Exactly.
Come on. Oh, I'm sorry, bro. I got you. Come on.
It was Brother Nancy, what I was thinking is that we debased ourselves. We
Right.
tore ourselves away from Allah.
Right.
So the prophet came back and connected us back to Allah and told us that we need to know ourselves
Right.
and our Father God Allah.
Right.
So he brought it all back to where it started from because we debased ourselves. We put ourselves in all these conditions
Right.
that we're talking about.
Right. Right.
Peace.
Come on.
Well, this thing says that therefore we are returned to church and Christianity back to the European nation. We need to follow stuff. We have a problem following stuff. Until we can find how to follow the prophet's instructions, we can never be in order. Never be in order.
Look, you know, it's a certain way that you got to return back to Christianity.
Yes.
It's a manner that you return to church. You don't be arrogant, jumping. I ain't with y'all no more. There is a manner in which you return to church. Because remember now, let's not get too ugly. But our introduction to, even though it may have been misleading, our introduction to God was by way of the church.
Exactly.
let's not be so critical now.
What God?
And we,
Because there was those who were very beneficial and to our even being able to think about God.
mhm.
And they were in the church.
Yes.
You're giving back the church, but understand what you're giving back.
Yes.
What are you giving back?
That custom.
The customs, the thoughts, the system.
Yes,
That's right.
yes.
Right, that's right.
You're returning the system.
That's
The
right.
church ain't the building.
Right.
That's right.
You're giving back the system,
Yes.
the way of operation.
Yeah, concept.
That's what we're giving back, the concept,
Okay, right.
the thoughts.
Lord, that's right. Right.
Yeah.
Rhythm, going back to what you were saying, rhythm has anything to do with us getting back.
Rhythm has much to do with
Everything.
getting back.
Yeah,
Because there is a divine rhythm,
yeah, jumped out at that, so.
and you're trying to be connected to the divine rhythm. But for you to be connected to the divine rhythm, you must be acting divinely. Don't you understand? You can't go back unless you get in accord with the divine law. You can't. We miss it. Understand, it's a divine movement. So therefore, if it's a divine movement, what does that tell you? You must behave in a divine way.
Exactly.
And it's given to you by way of your what? Principles, which are divine. And you are forever to act according to your divine principle.
Mhm.
What does that enable you to do? It brings you into rhythm.
Yes.
It brings you into the harmony.
Growth and development.
Yes, and now you can raise your what? Your thoughts. Because as long as you're being finite, you can't comprehend things infinite. You can't understand God until you start to become God-like. You must act in accordance with the laws of God. The actions of your life must show your love to His law.
Mhm.
And when that starts to take place, you're getting in rhythm.
That's it.
Your vibration increases.
You got to, Mom. Well, that's what we got to do. Come on, Mom.
I believe that's how the marks was able to be as well put upon us, because we got away from the principles of our mothers and fathers.
Right. And we fail to do what? Honor them. And that's a violation.
Mm.
A great violation.
Mhm.
So that's what we're trying to do. That's when you step back and you see, because we're thinking different than we've thought before. We're thinking at a much more rapid pace, which enables us to start to see inwardly. See, it's taking us from the out, taking us in. Because like I've shared with you before, inside is where the real exists. Outside is the illusion.
Mhm.
You must govern the outside by being inside. So that you can hear what? The still small voice that gives us what? Guidance and direction.
Say it one more time, Mom.
Huh?
Say that
No. But you know what I'm saying? You know, because see, you can't hear the voice if you focus outside because there's too much going on.
Mhm.
You got too many distractions. You got too many appearances, reflexes. Everything is taking place out here. And I don't have, so I'm not hearing what's being said inside because I'm trying to deal with what's going on outside. But you can't deal with the outside until you deal with the inside.
That's right.
Come on here.
Yes, and dealing with the inside of the instructions that we have,
Yes,
it says, turn from sin and
that's
strive
right.
for purity.
That's right.
When we start to strive for That
Yes.
means you working on getting some things
Yes.
out of you.
Yes.
You're working on changing how you've been thinking the whole time you've been here.
Yes.
You're working on accepting and employing these teachings in your life every day and raising your thoughts, the
Yes.
prayers to Allah,
Yes.
and asking for forgiveness and strength.
Yes.
Those things, that connection, now He's connected us to the higher power, but we can break it again.
That's right.
We can break it again if we ain't practicing this.
That's right.
So you gotta hold it. You gotta hold it. You hold it more than just. We gotta know what we hold. We holding that rhythm, what you're talking about, that harmony. You gotta stay there. You gotta try to stay there. You gotta be able to have the principle to bring you back there when we do have an uneven time. Because the world gonna put you in a position where you're gonna be tried and you're gonna resort to some of the things that you know most familiar. Because we haven't got the strength.
That's right.
To be good all the time. We got to come back to it. And this practice of these divine instructions is what bring us back.
Right.
These conversations we're having here. And hold y'all hand for a minute. We ride. We got to stay in this rhythm. Don't break the rhythm, man. Come on. I know I'm saying it like I'm saying, but I ain't playing. This is important. When the instructor is giving us these things, then we got to try to bring ourselves up to see where He's at and meet it. We got to meet these teachers. We got to meet this rhythm He's talking about.
Right.
We got to meet the prophet.
Right.
That's what I'm really saying.
More until we know Him, we don't know Him. And the only way to know Him is to do what?
Know ourselves.
Imitate Him.
Mm-hmm. We gotta know
Consistent.
ourselves.
Understand, the prophet is not inconsistent.
No.
So doing this today and not doing it tomorrow is not imitating the prophet.
That's it.
The prophet is consistent. Be constant in that which is what? Right. That's what it's about. Then we gotta go into the whole Koran. We gotta finish that chapter.
Praise God.
But we still use the same rhythm.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to finish with chapter 21, marriage instructions for man and wife from the noble prophet. And just like I did last Sunday, I'm going to continue that. I'm giving the sisters an opportunity to speak. And after they speak, if there are questions that the brothers may have to help make some nice shoes. After the sisters say what they have to say,
That's right.
the floor will be extended to the brothers if they have intelligent questions.
Intelligent.
And let me say that again.
Intelligent.
Intelligent questions.
Praise the Lord.
And we're not in here for any debate.
That's right.
We're here to hear what they have to say pertaining to this chapter, because this chapter is talking to them. Everybody understand, all right?
That's right.
Okay. All right, look, I'm gonna read to 11 because I stopped at 11. Did I not, Sister Secretary?
No, 13, I thought.
Was it 13? 13? Okay, all right. Marriage instructions for man and wife from the noble prophet. Give ear, fair daughter of love, to the instructions of truth, and let the precepts of truth sink deep in thy heart. So shall the charms of thy mind add lustre to the elegance of thy form. And thy beauty, like the rose it resembles, shall retain its sweetness when its bloom is withered. In the spring of thy youth, in the morning of thy days, when the eyes of men gaze on thee with delight, and nature whisper in thine ear the meaning of their words, or hear with caution their seducing words. God will thy heart, nor listen to their soft persuasions. Remember, thou art made man's reasonable companion, not the slave of his passion. The end of thy being is not merely to gratify his loose desire, but to assist him in the toils of life, to soothe his heart with thy tenderness, and recompense his care with soft endearment. Who is she that winneth the heart of man, that subdueth him to love, and reigneth in his breast? Lo, yonder she walketh in maiden sweetness, with innocence in her mind and modesty on her cheek. Her hand seeketh employment, her foot delighteth not in gadding abroad. Yes.
Stop there.
Okay.
We didn't discuss further than that.
We did?
No. We read it.
You read it, but yeah, you didn't.
Oh, no, we didn't. Yeah, we didn't discuss.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, look, briefly discuss that because we really want to. No, I'm not going to say that. Go ahead.
I'm just.
Well, anyone that wants to say that. I mean, any sister that wants to discuss that up until this point, please, the floor is open to you to do so.
I just want to make this point, the three sisters that spoke on it last week is outstanding concept.
Yes, sir.
Sister D. Jones Bay, Sister F. Deliel, and Sister T. Potter Bay.
Yes.
It gave real good.
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
Yes, they did. Yes. And that's why I'm giving them the opportunity to do the same thing.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah. So come on, y'all, because we what's maiden sweetness? Maiden, let me ask you a question. What's maiden sweetness? I'm asking the sister. Tell me what maiden sweetness is. Come on.
Islam, again, is talking about, to me, again, is talking about what the chapter started with.
Right.
The innocence of her.
Okay.
Her innocence and her purity.
Okay. Okay.
Her having, she's thinking uplifting high things.
Okay.
I would say she hasn't been contaminated.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she knows about all the stuff that, she hasn't had all these experiences that's going to change her way of thinking and looking at things. Right now, she's in a more godlike state.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
What does it mean when it says, when it talks about gadding abroad?
Gadding abroad.
Gadding.
Oh.
What does that mean? She's not, she doesn't entertain herself with gadding abroad. What does that say? That's not the exact quote, but that's
Right.
the gist of it. What is that saying?
She's all over the place.
Right.
She's learning how to be bold, and she's starting to learn the way of the world.
Coming into her own.
Starting to interest her. So everything is piquing her interest, and she's curious.
Okay, so is this before she's exposed to the world?
Yes.
Or is she supposed to conduct herself like this even after her exposure to it?
Yes.
She's supposed to conduct herself even after.
After, yes.
Right.
But this is as she's becoming exposed to the world. She's curious.
Okay.
And so she's all, like I said, all over the place.
So, Brian, see,
Yes, sir.
and I know you want the sister, but I think it'd be good for us to get clarity on that thought that's being put out if we read that again.
Right.
Because
Okay.
he said she does not.
That's right.
Right.
See, we gotta see what it's actually saying right there.
You're right. Her hands
Right.
go to it.
Her hands seeketh employment. Her
Her
foot
hand
delighteth
seeketh
not
employment.
in gallon abroad.
Her foot delighteth not in gadding abroad.
The light of not.
That's right. So what does that say? Her hand seeketh employment. If you're seeking employment, what are you doing?
Looking for
Work.
industrious
Do
Something to do, work, yes.
something constructive.
Something constructive. That's
You don't have time for that gadding abroad.
That's the point.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. See, you finding something, you're finding something to do worthwhile. And you ain't got time to be in all everybody else's business.
There's no foolishness.
No foolishness.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right. Do the sisters agree with that?
Islam.
All right, look, let's go here. This time we're gonna finish it up. Her hands, okay, no. She is clothed with neatness. Now, being clothed with neatness is being made to appear neatness. What some people's, or what I've seen some sisters' perception of neatness
Yeah.
is something else.
But the neatness is supposed to be respectful.
Good. That's
Respectful.
We're talking about a respectful
Way, yes, that's being neat.
Okay. And what does that respectful neatness reveal? What does that show?
The things that it doesn't show.
Yeah,
Exactly.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And it all say it. Modest.
Yes,
Morals.
yes.
Right. It shows respect. It shows respect.
And what the old folks used to say, leave something to the imagination.
Yeah. And also, you know, that neatness can also be a vision of how the sisters view themselves.
Right.
Yes.
I wanted to share a quote that I read that Marilyn Monroe is supposed to have said, and it made me really think about the lesson, and maybe a way to explain it to sisters that are not in the temple. She says, a woman, and this is not verbatim because I don't remember it verbatim. She said, a woman wears her clothes tight enough so that you know she's a woman, but loose enough so that you know she is a lady.
Exactly. I've heard that. I've heard that.
Marilyn Monroe said that?
Yeah. Of all people. But that's so true.
I mean, it's true.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's true.
Because the Koran says to the brothers, a form of right. So, yeah.
That's right. That's right. You got a question, Bill? But
I was going to add on to what the sister was saying. Like, so, to my understanding on that part, right, it was talking about during those times, back during those times, how they dressed. Not talking about the times of now.
Why not? Why not? Wait a minute, why not?
I'm going on with the popular.
No, but why is it not a time for now?
As far as how they attire, how they dress.
But why is it not a time for now?
It's even more prevalent today. Yeah.
I'm just good. I'm just saying my understanding.
That's his understanding. Okay.
Wait a minute. Come on.
Islam. The question, and praise Allah to his prophet. The question is this neatness in relation, is this starting in the mind?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. When y'all say that?
Yes. Yes.
It starts within.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's, yeah.
Yeah. Come on.
Two things. One, yes, it starts in the mind, but what starts in the mind is also influenced by the environment and the conditions that a sister is exposed to or brought up in. And what I think Brother Pierce Bay was trying to say, or at least my understanding of what he's saying, we often talk about and see images of how Asiatics carried themselves in the 1920s and 30s and 40s and so forth. I hear it a lot when we talk about, you know, brothers wearing their pants below their backside, and sisters wearing clothes that are too revealing of the body, and it's often compared to how our people used to carry themselves with a certain kind of dignity. And I think that's what he's seeing, that he's seeing that it ain't like that now. But Sister Delia was saying, yes, it is. It depends on.
It's by choice, yeah, it's by
It
choice.
depends on her influences and how she interprets her environment and how she thinks in her head. I'm not gonna be like that, or I like that, I am gonna be like that.
Exactly.
So how do sisters get not caught up in this whole, how do you not get caught up in the whole, style?
What's going on today?
Yeah, style, I mean, how do you not be influenced by the style?
You know, that's why I Gary say it's not just sisters, it's brothers too. But I'm talking about everybody is out the different way we think. If those who are easily influenced, normally they call them with a weak mind, right? And they want to be on the in crowd, right? They doing it for attention, whatever the case may be. But for those who love themselves already, or like themselves already, or satisfied with how they are, they won't allow outside influences to disturb their way of thinking on how they want to be. I have, like, say, nieces and cousins. They hung with a rough crowd, but their thinking was, I want to go to college and become a doctor. I got one, she became a PhD, regardless of her environment. That was the way she was taught. And even though we try to instill good things into it, it's still up to her on her decision on how she think and how she gonna go about and do the thing. Where I have some who've been to college, but now they out there in the streets.
Come on, sister.
Islam, I think the majority of the influence is by what we are feeding ourselves, especially growing up. Like the music that we listen to, how people dress in those music videos. Or we started listening to, in my opinion, like man's desire of what he thinks a woman should look like and act like and wear. Like loose desire of what they should wear and act. Like instead of listening to like instructions like these that show exactly, if not written per se, you can see it imagery wise that what's out in the world right now is not how we're really supposed to be dressing, because the type of reaction that you can get from it, you can tell that that's not something that would be considered safe or like, yeah. So it's a lot about what we started listening to.
You know what? Remember what he said, many the pattern for the life?
Mm-hmm.
And he put the pattern out.
Yeah.
He's got a pattern out there that's influencing actually the way our sisters think and the way we think. When I'm talking about sisters, because I'm looking at how the younger population is really buying into this pattern.
Yeah.
And the pattern is being promoted by those who they keep in front of you. The entertainment community is a great pattern setter for our young women and for our young men. But you can see the psychology.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Definitely.
The European psychology, you can see how they intertwine that thing with our daily activities.
The mental slavery.
Mental still keeping us exactly.
It is. By things. We're enslaved by things.
Yeah.
I was thinking about, in speaking down, where it says, decency is all the word.
Yeah.
But, you know, I was thinking about that word, decent and indecent.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you say, how we think applies to how we dress.
Right.
You know, as Sister Barnabé stated, it starts from the mind inside.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so if you're thinking decent,
then
it's gonna show in how you carry yourself.
Yeah.
But if you accept indecent as proper,
Right,
then you can go indecent and think it's normal.
right,
Peace.
right, 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 right. Submission and obedience are the lessons of her life. And peace and happiness are her reward. So you see what submission and obedience will return to you, right? What will be returned to you?
Peace
Peace
and
and
happiness.
Peace and happiness. You put out that, you get this in return. Come on.
I got a question.
Yeah.
I think I just heard that recently about submission and obedience.
Right,
And we're talking about the sisters, right?
right.
And I think I just recently heard a brother throw that up in the face. You supposed to submit and be obedient to me.
Right.
And you know, and back in the day, yeah, they were. You know, nowadays, there's not too many sisters that, you know, is gonna go for that, right? But my question really was submission. Are we talking about submission on a carnal level or submission?
No, that's not.
Or we're talking about it on a spiritual level, submitting to the laws and the principles of Allah and the Prophet.
Exactly.
Thank you. But I'm just saying, because some misunderstanding of some people when they read this or see it, they're going on a carnal level.
Well, you can always determine that by the person that's before he can get there. You know how they think.
Right.
But it's demonstrated, shown.
Yeah, that's why.
Okay, I got you, sis. Okay, but I want to get the governor.
Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord, true prophet. It was funny since David said that because I remember when I first read it, I used to think that too.
Right.
When we used to get into discourse, you know, you're supposed to submit.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But what I realized, praise the Lord, true prophet, is that it's through your submitting to the will of Almighty God.
That's right.
That she learns to submit.
That's right.
So then it becomes a unified effort to submit to the Almighty God.
Right.
That's right. And it becomes so much more gracious and fun.
That's right.
You know, marriage.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
That's it.
It's my mom is watching, and she wanted to say that due to circumstances and situations, we as women have been led to assume certain types of behaviors and mindsets that made us forget how to become submissive. I was raised by a very independent woman that's always said, you don't need a man. But I had to realize that we all have a part to play in the story. And I'm learning that I have to figure out a way I want my story for my family to be written. Never to be a doormat for someone, but someone that can be a gentle spirit for my husband, because he has to fight outside our home. Why make it so that he has to fight me too? I'm a very strong-minded woman, and I can handle my own, but I realize I don't always have to go toe-to-toe with him. Let him handle situations that are meant for him to handle. Through examples outside my family, I learned how to show kindness and to soften my heart. I do that with strangers and always receive a pleasant return. I am a work in progress, but striving to be a better example of how to handle situations. Peace.
And tell her that we say thank her.
She already, she hit you.
Oh, thank you. Come on, Will.
Yes, I have a question. As we're reading this chapter, the question I have is, and think about this, who is this lesson talking to? See, we talked about the world, we talked about the influences of today and versus before, but what woman is he talking to? He says it in the chapter. And this is where that rhythm of thought he's trying to give us has to be maintained while you're reading this, while you're studying this. He's talking to a sister that's trying to be of a certain mindset. He's not, the ones who ain't gonna see this ain't gonna see this. But the ones who see it, they're trying to go somewhere else. So we gotta say, who is he talking to? Who is he instructing these things to?
Sister gives it.
Islam. Give praises to Allah, honor to our holy and divine prophet. Had another statement, but I'll answer. I think that the prophet is speaking of all women.
Me too.
Because truth is but one. And if this is the pattern for our lives, this is what we need. We should be teaching our children this from day one. So that they can learn. They can't just, like myself and many other women, you learn how to be a wife and the attributes that you need to carry way too late. You know, then you have to redo the things that you've been taught so that you can become that truth. In addition, submission and obedience. I think this is for this is for husband and wife. But as far as for the wife, the way I see it is you are submitting to Allah, and through that, when things go contrary or when you feel as though you're about to battle in your marriage, when you submit to Allah, no matter what you're going through, you can hold true to what you are supposed to do. So for example, if you're mad at each other, you don't just not fix dinner. You still fix dinner. You know, if it's things that you're supposed to do as a wife, you stay true to that. You don't go contrary because you're mad or you don't agree with something, because you live by example. And when you see that, even the husband, I would assume, when he does that, even though it's something that he doesn't agree with, if he continues to do his part, then we learn from each other that, oh, he was upset, but he kept doing it. She was upset, but she still stayed true to what she is supposed to do as a wife. And thus, we learn from each other. Peace.
It's not.
Yeah, it's real good. A lot of practice. You know what? But it takes sincere. Sincere. You gotta be sincere with it. But look, it's time. I got to go. But anyway, thank you. Thank all of you.
Yes, sir.
All right. Peace.
Peace.
Islam.
Islam.
Pray that everyone got something like class in you, aiding along in the journey of life. At this time, I'll call the Grand Governor of Baltimore.
Maryland.
Baltimore.
Islam. January 15th, 1929. Prophet warns all Muslims, governors order to read proclamation at each meeting. I hereby inform all members that they must end all radical agitating speeches while at work, in their homes or in the streets. We offer peace and not destruction. Stop flashing your cards at Europeans and cause confusion. Remember, your card is for your salvation. Failure to obey these orders will be of severe consequence. We offer love, truth, peace, and freedom. And
when these principles are violated, justice then must take its course. Any member or group of members who hold malicious feelings toward the temple or the prophet or violate the divine covenant of the Moorish movement will receive their reward from Allah for their unjust deed. All true Moors will then must obey the laws laid down to them by their prophet. If they lose confidence in their prophet, they should turn in their card, but cease wearing their turban or fez, and return to the state where I, the prophet, found them. This is a holy and divine movement founded by the prophet, noble to Ali. And if the prophet is not right, the temple is not right. The prophet therefore is sending out the divine plea to all Moorish Americans that they do their part in protecting their prophet in the temple. This is an everlasting movement founded by the prophet through the will of Allah to redeem his people from their sins. By order, prophet, noble to Ali. Peace.
Peace. Praise God.
Allah the Father universe,
Allah the Father universe,
Father love,
Father love,
truth,
peace,
freedom,
and justice.
Allah is my protector,
Allah is my protector,
my guide, and my salvation,
and my salvation,
by night, and by day, through his holy prophet,
through his holy prophet,
through Ali.
through Ali.
Amen.
Amen.